Well,
Is he alive?
they're working on him right now.
Okay, I'm a murderer.
Listen, you're not listening to me. You're not under arrest right now. You're being detained. Okay, we'll investigate.
No, you should arrest me. I killed my husband.
Sheriff's Office, emergency. Hi, can I have a police officer?
Okay. What's going on?
My husband pushed me up against the wall and threw me on the floor. And he's threatening
Your husband still there?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone have any weapons?
There's guns in the house, but no.
But nothing in anyone's hands?
No.
Has anyone been drinking or using drugs?
No.
And what's your first and last name?
Bree Coon.
What you just heard was one of 3 911 calls placed on September 8, 2021 from the Coon residence. Navy Chief Petty Officer Bree Coon and her husband Colin Turner lived just outside of the naval base in Gulf Breeze, Florida, with their 3 children. Their relationship had recently become toxic and did not seem to be improving. This was only the beginning. When deputies arrived at scene, Colin explained to them previously that Bree tried to inflict self-harm, and she is not in a stable mental condition.
In March, she tried to kill herself and did inpatient. After she was inpatient and then she was outpatient group for a while, she got kicked out of that group.
This is the family Santa Rosa Police Department would soon be all too familiar with because what happens next was not what they were expecting. According to police reports, Colin and Bree had been married for about 7 years. They had a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old together. Bree's oldest, 12-year-old Kylie, was Colin's stepdaughter. Bree was the breadwinner on active duty in the Navy, while Colin stayed home with the kids and went to school for engineering. Colin and Bree had been having marital issues long before their disputes came to a head. According to Colin, Bree was mentally unstable and had been missing her therapy appointments while drinking a lot.
And she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Are you familiar?
Mm-hmm.
So she was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder in March or April. Got kicked out of her first therapy group, got kicked out of her second therapy group, and she skipped her last 2 individual therapies.
Although Bree's recent behavior doesn't concern deputies at this point, they leave hoping that their domestic dispute resolves on its own. At around 5:20 that same day, 911 was called for a second time from Colin because Bree had locked Colin out of the house.
What'd you say?
Is my wife allowed to not let me come in my own house? Is that legal?
I'm not sure what you're referencing.
Oh,
Is there something happening?
my wife has locked all the doors and said I'm not allowed to come in. So I'm outside with my daughter screaming that she wants to go inside and I can't.
Okay, what's your...
Colin, still wanting to take the younger kids to Georgia, gets locked out of the house by Bree.
I want you to tell me what happened and why she called us.
So she called you right now because she figured out that I want to take my kids to my parents' house in Georgia for her and I to have more for me. I guess me to have a break from her.
A different deputy arrives at the scene, and Colin briefly explains the situation.
Hello.
Nice to see you here.
Yes, sir. Indeed. What can I do for you? I'm Deputy Glenn with Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, my wife won't let me in my house.
Okay, is this wife?
Domestic dispute. Yep.
Okay, can I talk to you over here?
Can I have my daughter, please?
Hey, can I just have you wait right there for just one moment, okay? Not right now. Hold on. Just one second. We'll get this figured out, okay? All right, so what's going on today, sir?
So she's got mental health stuff going on. I was trying to leave for Georgia to get a break from her for me and the kids earlier today, and then she called you guys. And when I was talking to you guys, she took my photo ID, all my access to money and everything, and then took the kids inside and locked me out. So I've been locked outside in my driveway for the last couple hours.
Do you live here?
What's that?
Do you live here?
Yeah, we're co-owners. We both.
Okay.
So I've been on the phone with family advocacy through the Navy and all that most of the day, so I haven't cared that I'm outside until she came outside with my daughter on the porch screaming. So I came over and she gave my daughter to me. She didn't make her stop screaming.
And what's the argument over? They put in the note something about kids going to Georgia.
Yeah, that was the most closest alligator to the boat.
Okay.
But she was mad that I turned off the Wi-Fi last night, so she
Okay.
washed my laptop in the dishwasher.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the last straw.
You guys,
So, is it legal?
are you guys still married?
I mean, for now, yeah.
It's still legal and it's common property.
Yep.
What's yours is hers and hers is yours, unfortunately.
Yeah, so she's
Common
not
property.
allowed to stop me from entering my house?
If it's your house and you still live here, by all means, you got to enter your home however you got to enter your home.
10-4.
Make sense?
Yeah, so she's allowed to change the locks and I'm allowed to break a window, is that what you're saying?
I'm not telling you to break a window. If you want to tear it, I mean, it's your property. Okay. All right, just give me 1 second, okay?
Yep.
Let me talk to her and see what's going on.
Locked him out.
Okay.
He had been in contact. Well, he had been in contact with my command.
Okay.
So he said that there's allegations of emotional abuse.
Okay.
So obviously I don't want him in there.
Okay.
You know, him and I arguing in front of the kids. So I
Okay.
locked him out.
I don't know if you overheard what I told him. It's his house too, right? He lives here too? So we can't lock each other out of the house. I mean, if we do, he's got every right to enter the house however he's got to enter the house.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. And same thing, if you change the locks, he's got every right to get in the house however he's got to get in the house, okay?
Okay.
If he lives here, he's got property here. For the betterment of your daughter, whatever you guys got going on, you got to put aside for the kids. You see
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
agree, but he told me not to talk to him. So
Okay.
I'm not going to let him
All
in the
right.
house if he's going to come in and start arguing.
But at the same time,
throwing
that's leaving the child. I mean, that's kind of leaving the child out here
Right, so I
fend for
want her
herself. Does
to
that
come
make
back
sense?
in. Yeah, for sure. So
Okay.
I don't want him to do that.
Okay. But, I mean, I can't stop him from going inside the house.
Oh, that's fine. I just wanted
Okay.
him to give her to me so that she's not out here.
Okay.
They said earlier that since I didn't have any bruises, and
Okay.
there was nobody to witness
Right.
him getting physical with me,
Okay.
that they shouldn't do anything.
At this point, the deputy does not know who to believe, but reiterates that if Bree had taken Colin's belongings, which she did in fact take, then that would be theft.
Hello. I didn't want to let your dog eat out. So he says you've got his wallet and his driver's license. Do you know where those items are?
No,
Did you remove them from his truck earlier?
I took
Okay, 'cause-
my American Express.
Because those are personal items, okay? So
Right,
being as those are personal items, not common shared items, okay? You know, if we've taken them from him, that's a theft, okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if we've got those items need to be returned. I'm just going to tell you that, okay? That's a fair warning, okay?
Bree did not want Colin to take their two youngest children to Georgia and would do anything to prevent him from leaving with them. And if Colin did take the kids, it could be a brutal custody battle.
So basically, marital property man, and nothing I can do about your laptop, your truck. Pretty much the situations that I've seen from my experience where this is going to happen is it's going to be who crosses the line first. So it's going to be somebody's going to get mad enough, someone's going to shove, someone's going to grab, someone's going to jail.
Sounds good.
All right.
Bree's claims that Colin had caused physical harm to her are unfounded due to no witnesses and no marks on her that indicated she had been hurt. The deputies explain that ultimately, they need to set aside their quarrels for what's best for their children.
As far as tonight, we've got to figure out something where you guys can, maybe one of y'all can get a hotel, maybe one of y'all can agree to sleep in another room or something like that or whatever, but what we got to do is we get something figured out that way we're not out here 10 more times tonight, you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
Okay? So, he's going to bring the kid inside the house, okay? And this is his house too. We're not going to prevent him from coming inside his house, okay?
Yeah, so you were.
Okay, alright, so this is his house, he's going to bring the kid inside the house, and we're going to get things worked out, right? So we're not coming back out here 10 more times. Because if we do come out here and somebody tells me somebody's been physical and I can find some evidence of such, i.e. red marks, bruises, scrapes, scratches, or an evidence, a witness or anything like that, it's kind of somebody's going to want to go in jail. It might be you, it might be him, I don't know, I can't predict the future, okay? But what I'm telling you is if we continue to go down this route, we're going to have to start resorting to other things, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. Okay? I mean, I want everybody to get along and enjoy their night, okay? For, like I said, for the children's sake, if nothing else, you know. I mean, we can hate each other, but, you know, in front of the kids, we try not to, you know, use something, say, yeah. And again, I mean, I can't make you do something. If that's not how you want to be, that's not how you want to be. But it's just probably for the best, okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right, so can we agree to let him in so he can bring the kid inside and she can get cooled down?
Yes.
Right.
So he's not going to harass the kids.
No, he's not gonna bother anybody.
Okay.
And if he does, you can give us a call. We'll come back out here, okay?
Okay.
All right? Any questions for me this afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I appreciate you being
Thank you.
cooperative with me. Thank you.
Bree allows Colin back into their home, but instead of taking the deputy's advice to separate, the situation escalates further. The deputy had seen it before, When domestic violence festers, it doesn't always resolve itself on its own, but he left, believing he had done enough. That would be the last time Colin was seen alive. Less than 45 minutes later, Colin dials 911 and explains to dispatchers that Bree had physically forced him into the garage and he was now locked in there.
Sheriff's Office emergency.
Hi, you guys have been out to my house twice today, and then most recently the deputy talked my wife into letting me in the house, and then she locked me in the garage and tried to break my arm when I was trying to get back inside.
What's your address, sir?
6184 Jenks, Kenks Drive. She's currently got me locked in the garage because earlier she broke both of the big doors, and then when I came out here to fix it after getting in the house earlier, she locked the door behind me. And then when I tried to...
What was that?
She just shot me!
Somebody, she's driving. She just shot him. I just heard 4 shots. Sir, are you there?
Unsure if Colin is still alive, the dispatcher calls as many units close by for the high priority call.
Settles all units. Signal 32 with a signal 0 weapon at 6184 Jinx Drive, 6184 Jinx Drive. Dispatcher heard 4 gunshots. Complaint is no longer answering. All units in my knowledge.
Upon arrival, deputies were made aware that someone saw a woman exiting out of the back of the home and searched the perimeter to see if Bree could be spotted. Additional responding deputies were met by Bree's neighbors who told them that Colin was in the garage. Deputies make their way into the garage and Colin can be seen face down on the floor. No one is in the home, including the children.
Anybody else in there? Can we open this?
While deputies start to interview the neighbors, an officer spots Bree sitting on the front porch of a neighbor's house. He walks up to Bree to take her to a patrol car to be detained. Bree is in shock and admits several times to shooting Colin. Bree had taken the children to a trusted neighbor's house immediately after the incident.
Alright, this is hold on, this is Deputy Lohan. Come here, shoot off. It's okay.
Are you in shock?
Well, do me a favor. Can you, they're working on him right now.
Okay.
I need you to go with this deputy, have a secret car. She's going to hang out with you.
And my other 2 kids are 4 and 3. And they're in that house too.
Search her already? Hold on, real quick. We're gonna search you, okay? Hold on to your hand real fast, okay?
You dead?
I don't know yet, ma'am. I just got here.
No, I'm fine. That's my kids, my husband. Okay.
Are the kids in the house?
No, they're with the neighbor. Christy Curtis, Christy and John Curtis. Any other? I have nothing. Anything on you that I need to be aware of? Nothing. Anything in your bra? No. Bra? I do have a bra. I'm just gonna pull apart, make sure you don't have anything in it, okay? A nursing bra. He was dead. I saw him and I tried to help, but he was dead.
Well, let's not talk about that right now, okay?
My kids don't have a dad or a mom, no. And it's my fault. And he's right.
Alright. For right now, we're just gonna do this for right now, okay?
Just for your safety, for ours, okay?
I'm a murderer.
Listen to me. You're not under arrest right now. You're being detained, okay? We'll investigate.
No, you should arrest me. I killed my husband.
Bree is brought into an interrogation room for questioning. After noticing the camera, Bree tells officers that she is more comfortable in the corner of the room.
Oh, in one of those chairs? I mean, that's fine for now. I don't know where he's gonna have you guys sit when he comes back, but. I have your one foot.
And was trying to push to go to the door. And I was trying to keep him out. I don't. And then I shot him. But he was still coming towards me. I don't think I shut the door and I went to get my kids, and I took them out of the house, threw them back to go to the neighbor's house, and I saw a kid.
Notice how Bree tells detectives that Colin was still coming towards her? Bree is fabricating a self-defense lie. Based on Bree's words and an interview with Bree's brother Eric, Colin likely did try to get back into the home, but the situation was clearly not as deadly as she would make it seem. Colin was shot in his back 4 times while facing away from Bree, not going towards her. One of the shots went through his neck and into his hand that held his phone while on the line with 911. At this point, Bree did not even know that Colin happened to be on the phone with 911, and all of the audio was recorded. She is charged with the murder of her husband, but the biggest twist in this case was the fact that Bree recounted her admissions and claimed self-defense instead. Bree's attorney argued that there was enough reasonable doubt and lack of evidence to support that Bree shot Colin in self-defense. However, Bree's commanding officer confirmed for detectives that when he had spoken with Bree earlier in the day, Bree said that all of the guns were locked in Colin's truck, meaning Bree had to deliberately get her pistol out of Colin's truck. During the 911 call, there are no other voices heard in the garage with Colin, and no sign of a threat. Colin was shot from behind, indicating that he wasn't expecting Bree to be there at all. Bree's ex, James Joyner, a DEA agent in Alabama, also provided a testimony to the emotional state Bree and Colin were in on the day of Colin's shooting. When Bree was arrested and sitting in a patrol car, she actually dialed James on her Apple Watch to tell him what happened.
And I was with a couple other agents, and I was set up in the parking lot. I can't remember which one.
That's fine.
And then my phone rang, and it was Bree. And I answered, and I said hello, and she said, "You need to come get Kylie." And I said, "Okay." I can't remember if I said I'm working or something to that extent, but I think she interrupted me, and she said, "I just shot Colin. You need to come get Kylie." And my response, because the only thing I could think of was why. And she said, "I don't know. I don't know what happened. You just need to come get Kylie." And so I said, okay. I said, "Okay, Bree, just relax. I'm on the way."
Colin texted James around 6:14 p.m., and then Colin was shot only minutes later. Bree would go on to paint Colin as a terrible husband who sexually assaulted and physically harmed her. But the real reason she locked Colin in the garage was because Colin refused to talk things out with her. He just wanted to leave. In a cell phone video that has not been released by the police department, Colin records Bree throwing a tantrum because he refuses to make up with her right before he was locked in the garage. Bree came up with numerous excuses to paint Colin in a bad light, which may or may not have been true, but the fact remained that Colin posed no threat to Bree when she decided she was going to shoot him. A Florida jury thought so as well. Bree Kuhn was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in a Florida state prison without the possibility of parole. Bree can be seen in the courtroom smiling as her verdict is read, and she chose not to make a statement to Colin's family or hers. Colin is remembered by friends and family as a great son and loving father.